Hi, everyone. My name is Ashley Matos. Welcome to today's webinar. I am thrilled to be walking you through the newest feature in WhoFi Passes. So thank you guys for joining and for being here. So I saw in your registration records, as you guys were registering for the webinar, that some of you circulate over 100 passes in a month, and that is so great and so exciting. While others of you had mentioned that you circulate 0 and you're just getting started in 2026, or you're considering getting started. I find both of those scenarios incredibly exciting. So today, I plan to walk you through some of the challenges that you guys already experience when it comes to circulating passes for your local venues. And then we'll walk through a demonstration of WhoFi's passes today, and I'll show you at the end how you can get access to passes, as well as a Q&A session towards the end as well. But feel free to use the chat to ask your questions. If April's not able to answer them, then I'll be able to answer them at the end, most likely. No promises. Awesome. So for our slide here, now before we dive into the software itself, I want to take a moment to talk about why we built passes. We all know that museum and venue passes are a crown jewel of library services. They are incredibly popular, and for many families in your community, the library is the only reason they can afford a day at the zoo or the local art museum. It is truly an amazing service what you guys do. But let's be honest for a second. Behind the scenes at the library, managing these passes can feel like a full-time job in itself. We've heard from so many of you who are still living in the paper log era. You've got a 3-ring binder at the front desk, you've got sticky notes with the patrons' names, and the constant game of phone tag, trying to confirm if a pass was actually picked up. You're juggling walk-in requests while trying to manually update a spreadsheet that, let's face it, it's probably already out of sync by the time you hit save. When you're stuck in that manual spreadsheet shuffle, it can cause real friction. It can lead to some of the hidden costs of pass lending. Traditional ILS platforms just aren't designed to support the advanced booking of high-demand, time-bound items like venue passes. First of all, there can be an equity issue. A first come, a first come, first served system sounds fair, but it really only serves the people who can walk into the building right when you open. It may be confusing for everybody else. Then there's your staff burden. Every manual checkout, every reminder phone call, and every follow-up is time taken away from your other programs and your patrons' needs. And we can't forget the patron experience. If a patron has to drive all the way to the library just to find out that their pass is gone, or they can't see the availability from their phone, they can get really frustrated. I'm sure you guys have faced that. And honestly, the biggest heartbreak is the lost data. When your information is scattered across paper logs and incomplete spreadsheets, your impact can truly be hidden. When your board or your city council asks how many times were your passes circulated and which ones don't need renewing, it's almost impossible to give them a confident answer without hours of manual counting. At WhoFi, we truly believe that your libraries deserve better. You deserve a workflow that keeps things light for your staff and easy for your patrons. It is time to turn pass lending from a logistical headache into a streamlined and automated process, one that actually works for you and gives you the powerful data that you need for decision-making and advocacy. So with that in mind, let's take a look at how Passes changes that story for both staff and patrons. So I'm going to pull over a tab so I can show you guys your live demonstration of Passes. So here we will see a patron view. This is the link that your patrons could have access to from the website. And they'd be able to scroll down and see all of the wonderful passes that are being circulated at your library. And I went ahead and added a handful of passes that some of you guys are already circulating, so there's a few Easter eggs in here. So we'll see on some of these the image or a logo for your pass, or even the front steps of the building, kind of up to you what you'd like to upload. You'll see the name of the pass, as well as the type of pass, if it's physical or if it's an electronic pass. You'll see the benefits that this pass provides, as well as the venue's website and address. And we'll even see a button down here to view the policy for the library for letting the patrons borrow this pass. Sorry, my mouth is kind of dry today. Because we have selected a date at the top, January 15th, that's why we'll see a handful of these will say that the pass is unavailable for this date, but we can still click on some of these buttons to book for other dates other than today. So let's go ahead and book a pass for our Buttonwood Park Zoo in Massachusetts. Along the top, we'll be provided with any information that your staff is able to type out, such as the benefits of the pass, the information for the venue, and maybe even the hours. That's not required, but you're welcome to use that space for whatever information is best provided to your patrons. And then we'll see the schedule for the venue down here at the bottom. It will display the available dates that the venue is open. And here it's asking us to select which date we would like to use the pass and go to the venue. So for example, if I click on this Friday, we'll see down here, it will immediately provide us with a schedule of the library's availability. It will provide them with a very clear pickup date and the hours of the library to go and pick that up. You're given the date of use that they've selected, as well as the return date and return hours. And you're welcome to even provide buffers around this so you can schedule how many days in advance they'd like to pick it up and how much of a window you'd like to give them to return it back to the library. When we hit next, the information will be moved over to the left-hand side and will be taken to the booking form. So this form can have any extra questions added to it so that you can garner the information that you need from your patrons. We'll also see the policy available for review down here, and they have to agree to the policy before they can even submit their request. So we can fill this out with my information, and we'll check mark this box to agree to the policy, and we can request this pass. Now, your patron is going to receive an email with the information letting them know if their request was automatically approved or if it is in a pending status. The email, let me show it to you, will include a copy of the submission as well as any instructions for the pass. It'll provide a copy of the policy, any notes, your pass's details, and a person to contact in case there are any questions. And down here at the bottom will be a link to cancel the reservation if they need to do so. Now, that is for a physical pass. The experience for an electronic pass is just slightly different, so let's take a look at both. Down here, I've got a pass for the Boston Children's Museum, and this one is an electronic pass, so let's go ahead and book the pass for this one. We'll see very similar details across the top that you're welcome to type out, and down here you'll be selecting the day that you'd like to go visit the venue. And as you know, because electronic passes are not returned back to the library, the message down here will be different. It'll say the date that they're requesting it for, as well as the expected date for it to be delivered to their inbox. We'll see a setting later where you have the ability to delay whether your pass is emailed to the patron immediately or a few days before they need it. That way it doesn't get lost, and so that there is no abuse of your passes. If we hit next, we'll be taken to that same booking form, and those details are moved over here on the left. And we'll be able to view the policy here. And just like Spaces, if you guys are familiar with Spaces, the policy is available to open to a new tab to a link that's already on your website if you have that as well. So you have two different ways to add your policy there. If we check our box and request our pass, If the pass is automatic approval and the schedule is not delaying when the pass is being delivered to the patron, they'll get this quick link right here to download the pass. And this quick link is also available in their email so they don't lose it. And if we click here to download that pass, we will see a pass PDF with the name of the patron, the pass where it's supposed to go, and the use date for that pass, as well as any extra pass instructions that you would like to type out to include in this PDF. You are welcome to add additional pages to this PDF if you'd like to design something cool and add that to the PDF as well. Your patron's email for the ePass will also come into their inbox. It'll look pretty similar. You've got your instructions and your policy, and here is that link to be able to download that pass, and it takes them to that same PDF link, as well as all the way down there, a link to cancel the use of the pass if they need it. So great. That is our patron experience for the passes. Your passes will also send out an automatic reminder letting them know if they need to go pick it up or use the pass right beforehand. So those reminder emails are also automated. So let's take a look at the internal side real fast. Before I do that, April, are there any questions happening?
Yes, actually, Myra with Bristol Public Library would like to know where do the patrons enter their library card number and how are the passes connected to the catalog?
Yeah, very great question. That's actually, I was going to bring it up later, but I'm happy to answer your question now. On our next slide, you'll see if your account has an ILS integration added into your WhoFi account, you'll have the ability to turn that on for passes. And it's pretty simple. They'll click their date, and before they're taken to the booking pass form, then it'll ask them for their library card number and their PIN if there is a PIN. At the moment, we offer verification for Cersei Dynex, Koha, and via SIP2, and we're happy to explore any other ILSs needed to add to that list as needs arise. So if you use a different one, just let us know. Hopefully that answers your question. Anything else, April? All good?
All good.
Awesome. Thanks. Yeah, thanks for asking. I'm happy to answer those. Awesome. So let's look at your staff experience and how all of that works internally. I always find it's helpful to look at the patron experience so the settings internally just make a little bit more sense. At least that's my preference and the feedback that we've received. So when you first log into your account, you'll see a handful of extra items added to your dashboard. You'll see an option here for passes, and you'll see a list view of all of your upcoming passes and whether they're going to come up and pick it up for the pass. And you've got those detail links over here to quickly get to the form for those different passes. And then over here on the right, you'll have a notices board for ending pending pass reservations. So as they come through, if it is in a pending status waiting for staff approval, you can click on this link here to quickly get to any of those pending options. And the orange ones mean pending. So that is our dashboard. On the left-hand side, we'll have a drop-down here for passes, and we'll have the schedule of reservations here and your passes creation menu here. So let's open that up and let's take a look at the settings for one of the physical passes that we were booking earlier. So if we edit our Buttonwood Park Zoo, if you are a user of the WhoFi Spaces module internally, a lot of this might look similar. You'll see an image available at the top for you to upload an image to add to that list. You'll see where you can decide if it's a physical pass or an electronic pass. And here you'll be able to tell us if it's a circulating pass or a countdown pass. During our pilots for the passes module, it was revealed to us that there is a type of pass that they called a countdown pass. So for example, they might purchase 300 passes from one venue, and once they're out, they're out. No more can be circulated once all 300 have been passed out. So if that's how one of your passes work, you can turn that option on right there, and a countdown will be provided to you on the previous screen, so you can always see how many you have left over. But if your pass doesn't work like that, then it's going to be a circulating pass. Here you can provide the name, you can tell us how many passes you have to this venue here, and your pass dates. That way, in case you decide not to renew a pass, it'll just stop accepting reservations after the date that you've provided there. It's also very easy to renew. You just come in here, click the up arrow for the year, and you click a new date. Very easy to renew. Down here in your advanced settings, we've got the ability to decide if it's automatic approval or manual approval. So it comes through as a pending status for your staff to edit themselves. You can decide your pass availability, and here's where you can build and assign the venues schedule for this pass. Now, this is not required, but you are more than welcome to do this. If we go to Setup in Advance, I'm going to open it in a new tab. We'll see down here at the bottom some sections for pass settings. And if we open Venue Schedule, I'm going to open it in a new tab, we'll be able to create a schedule specifically for that venue. So what this does is you can tell WhoFi the Boston Children's Museum is, for example, never open on Tuesdays and Wednesdays. So don't let anybody book a pass to go visit the museum on Tuesdays or Wednesdays. Also, for example, down here, the blackout months, if you have a pass that is a seasonal pass, maybe it's for the local ice rink, nobody's ice skating in the summer. So you can turn off all of those months where it's the summertime and you don't have availability for that pass. And you'll see that be created over here on the right. And once it's assigned to the pass, it will be reflected on the patron's schedule as well. And down here, you can pick specific dates for if you know that maybe they're closed for an entire week, you can click those dates and say that the pass is not available on those. So that's our venue schedule. You can create that and assign that to the pass right there. Right here is the option to add a pickup or return window buffer. So we saw earlier that it would communicate to them their pickup date and their return date. So here's where you can ask them to pick it up the day before or 2 days before, or if you want to give them a window of return, you can say that 1 day after or 2 days after. This last option here is not communicated to the patron. This is how you can provide just a little bit of extra internal cushion to the return window, just in case you know that maybe your patrons are notorious for returning passes late. You can add just a little bit of an extra cushion internally that only your staff will see. This will not be communicated to the patron, but it'll prevent the disappointment for the next patron in case they show up and the pass isn't returned quite just yet. We found in our pilot testing that if you had a pickup buffer of 1 day or 2 days before, that it would prevent same-day pickup for today. Even though you already had the pass in your account at the library, it still would prevent them from picking it up today simply because you had that setting here. So you can override that by using this option here. It says, check this box to allow booking today or tomorrow. And then in the future, it'll still apply that buffer if they're picking for like next week. So you can turn that on and it'll take care of that for you. If your pass is a coupon pass, meaning it's not going to be returned to the library, it's still a physical pass, but they don't really bring it back, you can turn this option on here to tell us that the pass is not required, and it'll hide a handful of those returning options, and it'll communicate to the patron that pass return is not required. They don't have to bring it back. And lastly, in this menu, allow return when closed. We heard mixed experiences from our library pilots that some of them would allow their passes to be returned via the book drop-off, where others did not, because it might get lost or damaged. So this setting here allows you to tell your patrons whether or not they can return the pass while it's closed. And the system will automatically communicate to the patron if they can return it, let's say on a Sunday when you are closed, and tell them that that day is okay to return it, or they need to come into the library to return it. We'll see under patron settings the ability to type out any additional instructions that'll be included in the pass confirmation email after they have booked it. And then here's where you can type out that policy. You can provide the URL that's already available on your website that they're already going to, or you can type it out in this box here that we saw pop up earlier in our example. If your pass is being returned, there are reminder emails sent out automatically to remind them to return the pass. And here's where you can add an extra message to go into that email in case you'd like to type something out extra. And you can turn off those return reminders with that box right here in case you don't want them to get any reminders. Down here is a section for the venue. So this is the information that we saw above the schedule earlier on our example. And you can provide the website for the venue as well as the address for the venue. Down here is the ability to assign any additional pass rules. So if you're familiar with our Spaces module or not, this works pretty similarly to the Spaces module. If we go back to our Setup and Advanced menu, down here under Passes is a menu for pass rules. So if we open this up, we'll see the availability to add any additional rules around your passes. So for example, cannot reserve beyond so many days or months from now. You don't want them to look too far into the future. You can turn that on and type in a number. And then cannot reserve more than so many passes in a single reservation. Let's say you have 5 passes to the local venue and you don't want them to take more than 1 or 2. You can type in a number there. And then the same email cannot reserve more than so many times within a given time frame, just to help prevent monopolization of your passes. So you're welcome to create those rules and assign them to the pass down here in this dropdown. If we go back to our rules menu, you'll see a second button next to adding a rule. It's here for global rules. Now this one you don't have to assign to any pass because it's automatic. It will automatically apply to all of your passes. And the difference is because this rule says cannot reserve more than so many different passes in a given time frame. So for example, earlier I was booking 2 different passes, one for one museum, one for another museum. If my limit was 2, it wouldn't let me book a third one. So that's how that global rule would work. If you typed in there and said 2 within a given time frame, then it would prevent a third booking from that same person. So global rules you don't have to assign, they're automatic, but here's where you can pick from that dropdown to assign any pass rules there. And lastly, you've got your pass form. We saw this earlier. You type in your name, email, and phone number. You're welcome to decide what's required, or if you just don't want to ever collect phone numbers, you can turn that off as well. And here's where you can add any additional fields, such as a text box answer or a dropdown for them to pick an option from a dropdown. So that's the setting for a physical pass. It's just slightly different for an electronic pass. So if we go back to our passes, and let's choose to look at that electronic pass that we were reserving earlier. The settings look very similar. There's just a slight difference because it's an electronic pass. We'll see here the ability to upload additional pages to that PDF. So you've got that default one. You can add additional second, third, or fourth pages to that PDF for them to download. And then down here, we'll see that the return options are gone because e-passes are not returned. So in here, instead, you get this drop down here that I had mentioned earlier, where you can delay the delivery of your e-pass. So you can say delivered same day as approved, or deliver on the same day that they're actually going to go to the venue and use that pass, or 2 days before or a week before. Completely up to you which one you'd like to use. And then everything else looks pretty similar. There's no other changes there. And you won't see that reminder option there for e-passes. Now, you've set up your passes. Pass the reservations are coming through the website. Where do those reservations go? Great question. Thanks for asking. If we go to passes and reservations, we'll see a calendar view in here of your passes. Any of those passes reservations that come from the website will be saved in this calendar view. And you've also got a list view over here to see all of the passes that are happening. If we click to look at a pass reservation, we will see the information from the patron that was submitted, as well as the schedule, the pickup date, date of use, and return date that was also communicated to the patron, so your staff have the ability to reference that. And we'll see down here the status of the reservation. If it came through as pending, it would say pending, and your staff would be able to change that to another status, such as approved. And lastly, down here, your staff are able to use the stage dropdown, meaning it's been picked up, or it was returned, or maybe they no-showed. And you've got a new tab up here to be able to type out any additional notes that you'd like to leave for each other. Now, if we look at a reservation for an electronic pass, we'll see it's all pretty similar, except additionally, you've got this shortcut link thanks to our pilot feedback that they'd like to be able to also have access to that PDF link just in case they need to email it or print it out for them while they're at the library. So your staff do have access to that quick link to get to that PDF for your patrons. So back at the calendar, we'll see over here on the right a handful of filters so you can find the passes that you may be looking for. And then down here, you have the ability to order your reservations by pickup date, because right now we're looking at by pickup date, because that's typically what staff would be looking for. When are they going to show up to pick up the pass? But you're also welcome to switch it over to date of use. And you can see the schedule in that manner as well. As for your reporting options, I've got a monthly report that I'd like to share with you. If we go to monthly reports, we'll see an option down here for passes. And you're always welcome to rerun your passes report as needed, just like you can any other WhoFi report. If we open up our director's report, I've got it ready for us right here. We will see in this report a breakdown monthly of your physical passes versus your electronic passes over here on the left. So you can kind of see some trends over which one's more popular. And you've got a monthly breakdown across the top, excuse me. So you can see those different totals there at the top. And down here at the bottom is a historical comparison section. So we'll see that same section over here on the left to separate physical and electronic. And we'll see prior month compare, same month prior year compare, and year-to-date comparisons. So you can see those historic key changes that are happening in the past. So you can see those comparisons. That'll help being able to see which trends or seasons are busiest for your passes, as well as the decision to decide whether or not you need to renew those pass or even buy more of that pass because it's so popular. So the longer you're using passes with WhoFi, the more that this report will fill out for you guys. So that is about everything that I have to show you on passes at the moment. As you've heard, there are a handful of enhancements that are in the pipeline, like just from answering some of your guys' questions. So the whole product is based off of library feedback. We're happy to hear your guys' feedback and see what else needs to be enhanced and added. We just love working with you guys. So we know that budget is always a consideration for libraries, and that's why the sales team has designed the passes to be an affordable option to your WhoFi subscription. Passes is available as a purchasable add-on to your account for $550 annually for a single location. And if your library is a system and you have more than one branch that is circulating passes, it is $350 for any additional branches that you'd like to have access to that passes module. But don't take my word for it. We want you to have the ability to experience the benefits of passes firsthand. We are offering the ability to try passes risk-free. We're offering a 30-day free trial to test drive and see how easy it is to manage high-demand passes, eliminate manual workarounds, and create a smoother experience for both your staff and your patrons. If you're interested in starting a free trial of passes, please feel free to email me at ashley.matos@whofi.com or support@whofi.com. The service team will be very happy to help add your passes for you to your account so you can get a head start. We're happy to upload any images and upload your policies and get those settings just right for your passes and get you a reservation website for booking your passes so you can play with that, test it, add it to your website, and just really see what that experience looks like for you guys. We're happy to offer that for you guys. So that is everything that I have to show you guys today. We're now in our Q&A session. So if you guys don't have any questions, that's everything. Thank you so much for joining. If there are any questions, I'll stick around for a few moments and see if there's anything in the chat.